Hey guys, it's Asha. Welcome back to Reading with Toby. Today I have my February wrap up for you guys. Almost at February TBR. February wrap up. So, like I mentioned in my TBR video, I am filming on my iPhone, so that's why my setup is all different. Hope you guys don't mind. I left my camera at my friend's house, so I'm not able to film with it, but I really want to get these videos filmed for you guys. So this is what we're doing with this. I hope it's okay. I hope the lighting's all right and all that good stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and get started because I feel like I have a lot of things to say about all the books that I read, but I'm not going to try to talk too much. So I read a total of 3.5 books, which I think is pretty good. One book I DNF'd. Okay, so the very first book that I read this month was this one here. This was one of my most anticipated reads for 2020. This is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I found this arc at a library book sale. I was super excited. I ended up giving this a 3.75 out of 5 stars. This book comes out March 10th if you're interested. So let's get into it. This book follows a girl named Vanessa, and it kind of goes back and forth between two timelines. One when she's 15 and she gets into a relationship with her 42-year-old English teacher, and it jumps perspective to her in current day, kind of dealing with the aftermath. Another woman who went to her same school accuses the teacher that she was in a relationship with of abusing her, and asks Vanessa to come forward so that, you know, there's more than one person saying the teacher did this. And she's kind of dealing with the struggles of admitting that the relationship that she had was in fact abuse. So it's a hard book to read. It was done, I thought, pretty well. I thought that the author, what she did the best was when Vanessa was 15 and you got that perspective, you could really see through her eyes as a 15-year-old, you know, why she was manipulated so easily with the teacher, why she would think that the relationship was love, and why she did what she did, why she continued the relationship for so long. Yeah, I just thought she did that very well. You could definitely, you felt like you were reading from a 15-year-old's perspective, and I really enjoyed that. And she also, I thought, did really well the teacher's side, and you could see just how easily maybe not easily, but how he knew what he was doing and manipulating her, and you would get so angry and you wanted to scream at Vanessa like, no, no, come on. But you know, she's only 15. And then the other perspective, which I thought was an interesting twist on this, is that you're not dealing with a woman who is just who is trying to accuse the man of abusing her. She's kind of dealing with the fact that, oh my God, that relationship wasn't love. That relationship wasn't special. I wasn't special. He was hurting me. He was manipulating me, all these things. I thought that was a different twist on the story, which I feel like is important because I'm sure there are women out there who have had to deal with that and couldn't quite come to terms with it. I also like that Vanessa does go to therapy and she talks about it with her therapist, which I thought is important to show in the book. I thought it was written pretty well. It wasn't the absolute best. Like, you could tell that this was a debut novel, but you can see I have some tabs on here to mark some nice quotes, but also just to mark some points that I thought were just very interesting, especially some of the stuff. Even when they were older, Vanessa is still in contact with the teacher, and even when she was older, he could still kind of work his way in and manipulate her into doing certain things. So yeah, I thought overall it was a pretty good book. What I didn't like about it is that it kind of got a little bit repetitive, and the points that the author was trying to make were just so in your face. Like, I just feel like she could have been more subtle about some of the themes she was writing about. I don't know. I've just read some really great books that deal, maybe not even with similar topics, but that just deal with hard topics, but they write about it so beautifully, and it's just not in your face. It's more subtle. You get the commentary without her having to like tell it to your face. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't quite enjoy that. And then also the teacher gives Vanessa a copy of Lolita, and is kind of using that as like, look, this relationship between an older man and a younger woman is like, it's okay, it's in literature, so here, look how beautiful this story is. Like, see, it's not bad. I didn't mind that. What I did not like is how Lolita is referenced so many times in this story. It's just so cliche, I feel. if you have this age gap romance to talk about Lolita in the book. Like, I don't know. It just kind of got old, and I was like, she could have done it without Lolita. She could have mentioned it once and then gone on with something else. I don't know. I didn't like that. I thought that was mentioned. It was just too cliche. The book is also very dark, and Vanessa is in a very dark place when she's older. And I honestly was getting close to the end, and I was like, is this book gonna get happy, like, ever? Is she ever going to, like, make it through it? Like, I'm not gonna tell you, but I was just like, oh my god. Can we see, like, the light at the end of the tunnel? Because it just seemed like she just could not break free of the man, and she just could not see what was happening to her. So it did get frustrating, but I don't think that's a critique. That was just like, oh, so if you're looking for, like, something that's, you know, where she's, like, fighting against the man, that's not this. But I do think that a lot of people will enjoy this book. It's already gotten a lot of praise, and it's not even out yet. I definitely recommend it. But yeah, like I said, I only gave it 3.75 out of 5 stars overall. So there we go. There's that book. All right, the next book I read was The Gravity of Us by Phil Stamper. This was a new release that I was not super excited about, but I was pretty excited about. I thought it sounded cute, a cute little YA. I haven't read a YA romance in a long time, so I thought this one sounded cute, between two boys, and both of their parents are in this NASA program to be sent to Mars. And I thought that just sounded like a fun little element added to this romance story. But no, I did not like this book. I ended up giving it 2 out of 5 stars. Oh my goodness. I just thought this book was so boring and basic. That's what I said on my Instagram story. I was like, it's boring and basic. It was just, oh my gosh. I just felt like it just barely scratched the surface of the romance, of any conflict. It was just like the bare bones of a story. This was also his first novel, and I feel bad saying it, but like, oh my gosh, this is definitely written for a much younger audience. This is on the younger side of the YA, like 15-year-olds I feel like would like this book. I feel like if I was 14-15, I would have enjoyed this book. The main character, what's his name? Cal. He's like in New York, and he has to move to Texas for this NASA program, but he actually does these videos on this video app site where he's like a journalist. And that's a big part of it. Another big part is that they actually have a reality TV show of the NASA group, because there's a ton of astronauts and engineers and stuff. And that's a whole other element which I was not expecting and didn't really care for. And Cal is just very selfish, and I did not care for him as a character. There's like one line in this book where he literally says something like, I know this is going to hurt my dad, but you know what? I'm gonna do it anyway. And I was like, are you serious? Like, your dad is fighting to be an astronaut, and like, you know, to go on this super important mission that's a little bit more important than your video thing, and you're gonna do something that could possibly hurt his career. And he was like, I don't care, I'm doing it anyway. I was like, oh gosh. After I read that line, I was like, ugh. And then the boy that he falls in love with, what's his name? Theon? I remember it was a name that I really liked. Leon. I love that name, Leon. He is also very like one-dimensional, where literally the only thing about him is that he is depressed. And I think, of course, it's important to have characters who are depressed and talk about it, but that was like his only thing, was that he was depressed. And he didn't really talk about it with any of the other characters. He talked about it like off page to his parents. And Cal asked him, you know, do you want to go to therapy? But that was like the only thing. I was like, there's more to a person than them being depressed. I don't know. I just felt like the author put that in to kind of make it a little bit, to add a little something to it. And I just didn't enjoy it. And the writing was not that good. Sorry. But yeah, I definitely would have rather just read a book about the adults in a NASA program and going to Mars. So there's that one. All right, next we have The Regrets by Amy Bonifants. I love this book. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good, so weird. I loved it. So this is the author's debut novel. She has come out with a short story collection before. This is, I don't even know what genre you put this in, but this follows two people who fall in love, but it turns out that the man is actually dead and he hasn't, something is stopping him from completely crossing over. And you find out what it is in the book, but I'm not going to say it because it's really, really weird and like interesting to find out. So yeah, they meet and fall in love and things just go like this and then like this and then like this, the plot, and then you're like over here and then over here. It's just so weird. Like, I can guarantee you won't be able to guess what's going to happen in this book. It was so out there, but I really, really liked it. The two main characters, they're so what's the word, complex. There's so many layers to them. Even Thomas, who is the ghost character, he's so complex, and you find out about his backstory, and it was just so good. This like comments on loneliness, obsession, possession. It comments on jealousy, on using people, on trying to escape your pain, on coming to terms with your own reality, being okay where you are in life. It comments on so many things, and I loved it. I don't think that everyone is going to like this book. In fact, I think a lot of people won't like this book because it's so out there, and you have to kind of just go for the ride and just let her take you where she wants to take you. But yeah, I loved it. I thought the writing was really great. I did think that the writing could cross over onto that being a little pretentious side, but I could overlook it for everything else that was going on. This was also a new release that came out this month, and I'm so happy I read it because I freaking loved it. I don't really know what else to say about this. Oh, one thing I did want to mention is that there is a lot of sex in this book, which I keep forgetting to mention because to me, like, I didn't really care for it, but it didn't bother me at the same time, if that makes sense, because it wasn't graphic, but there is a lot of sex. But like, to me, that's not why I love the book, if that makes sense. But if you are a person who doesn't like to have a lot of sex in your book, you probably won't like this too. If you're a person who doesn't really bother you like me, it's just like, it's all right. I don't like things that are so graphic, but this wasn't graphic, so I was okay with it. Yeah, just want to throw that out there. So there's that one. Okay. Loved it. Definitely read it. Okay, so the other book that I DNF'd was actually an audiobook. I know, I read an audiobook. I tried to listen to, oh my gosh, what is it called? I'll Be Gone in the Dark, or I'll Be Gone by Dark. I'll put a picture. This is a true crime novel that I tried to read or listen to on my commute to work. And it's a 10-hour audiobook. I got like over 5 hours, so over halfway, and I just couldn't do it anymore. The audiobook itself, like the actual experience, the author, not the author, the person who was reading it, their voice was actually fine. It was interesting to a certain point, but then it started to get so repetitive and so detailed that I just didn't care anymore. I was expecting it to be kind of thrillery, like when you watch the true crime documentaries or you listen to true crime podcast. They kind of do it in a way to keep you on the edge of your seat, so you just want to keep listening. But this one is literally her obsession. So this lady, she got obsessed with the Golden State Killer or whatever he was, and like literally obsessed. So she know like every tiny little detail, every burglary, every single terrible thing that he did. She knew like what he was wearing, what weapon he used. If you went in the kitchen and did this and this and this, like, you're going to know about it, and you're going to know about all of the victims, which I did like that aspect. You really got to know the victims, but it was just too detailed for me. I just wanted to like have it where you keep it going, but no, this is where you are going to know every single fact about this killer. And there was even an hour-long chapter about her background, the author's background. I was just like I'm not trying to be mean, but like, I don't really, like, I didn't read this book to learn about this. So I'm DNFing this. I could already tell it was just going to be like a 3-star read anyway, and I was like, I'm not going to waste my time with this. I'm going to try some other audiobooks. I think I'm going to try more science-y ones, since now that I understand that these are going to be very detailed books, I feel like I won't mind such detail with science-y stuff. So I will try that. But yeah, if you truly love true crime and won't mind all the little details, then I recommend it. It wasn't bad or anything, it just was not for me. And then the last book that I want to talk about is my TBR jar pick, which was Z, a novel of Zelda Fitzgerald. I tried to finish this before the end of the month, but I didn't. I only got about 100 pages in, so I'm definitely going to finish it because I am actually really enjoying it. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it's just a fictionalized account of Zelda Fitzgerald and her life with F. Scott Fitzgerald, and it's just a really fun read so far, entertaining. So I'm liking it. But yeah, guys, these are the books that I read this for February. I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, I found a 5-star read, so I mean, you can't ever be unhappy with that. I hope you guys enjoyed this little wrap up. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books or you want to read any of them. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye!